Cooler and I'm flyer too. Jam. Cooler and I'm flyer too.
What it does, what it do. Welcome back to the show that's cooler and fly too. A1 Forever Sports. I am Chris Tip Moore. Why settle for less when you can have more with a vision? Be generational, because it's always time to be. You dig? So, what's up, A1 family? Welcome back to the show. So today, we have multiple parts to the show today. Starting off, we're going to start with Trae Young's Pinata team. And what I mean by Pinata team, the team that he has scored the most points against in his career so far. Of course, he is going on in year 6. We're, of course, hoping for the best if you're an Atlanta Hawks fan or if you're just a Trae Young fan. But today, like I said, I'm going to talk about the team that he scored the most points against. And let's get into that video segment right now. All right, y'all. I'm about to give out some stats. And let's see if you can guess the team by the end of the video. You may be surprised. You may not. Trae Young has put up 8,990 points in his career so far. This one team is Trae Young's favorite team to play. So far, Trae Young has played against this team 17 times in the regular season. He averages nearly 26.8 points and 8.9 assists versus this team. Ice Trae's most efficient game against this team came in 2019 when he shot 55.2% from the field and 53.8% from deep. Young has 4 40-point games and 7 double-digit assist games against the other guys. In 17 regular season games, Trae has made 45 threes at 34.4% so far in his career versus, Lastly, Trae Young scored a total of 455 points in the regular season. Also, he is 9-13 versus this team when you include the playoffs. So, do you know who it is? And now, Trae Young's Pinata team, the team that he likes to beat like a drum, is...
You welcome, OG. I made you hot, nigga.
Yes, the New York Knicks. So, who was surprised? Who knew? You can go ahead and leave a comment right down in the bottom. I'll respond back to you. So one more time.
Let's hear it. You welcome, OG. I made you hot, nigga.
Oh, and before we move to the next part of the show, remember,
Hayden, call him Joe Budden.
News around ATL. The Atlanta Braves last night pulled off a comeback. They were down 4-1, but in the 6th inning, the Braves bats got to work, and they was able to come back and beat the New York Mets 6-4. Now, the New York Mets, or Pete Alonso in particular, doing a little chirping, you know what I'm saying? Telling people to, throw certain pitches again. Well, guess what? The Braves had the last laugh on that whole ordeal as they got the victory, and they was yelling the same thing, throw it again. So hopefully tonight the Mets will throw those same pitches, and the Braves will go ahead and just, hit them out the park, or at least just score runs and continue to keep the Mets on this skid that they're on as they've lost their last 4 coming into today. All right, moving forward, Atlanta Falcons news. 2nd rounder and 38th overall pick Matthew Bergeron signed his rookie deal yesterday. Now, Bergeron, his deal is going to be worth $8.97 million. Also today, unfortunately, the Falcons announced that they have lost Avery Williams to a torn ACL. He will have surgery on tomorrow, and hopefully, a speedy recovery, but likely out for the entire season. More bad news for Atlanta, in particular the Atlanta Dream. The Dream has lost former 3rd overall guard Ari McDonald for 3 to 4 weeks with a torn labrum. Now, McDonald, she started all the games for the Dream thus far, and was averaging 6 points and led the team with 3.8 assists. Now, rookie Haley Jones is stepping in, being asked to step up a little sooner than she probably would think. But hey, either way, it's a good thing for the Dream to have a little depth. So bringing in the rookie right about now, hopefully she produces and she's ready for the moment. And I believe she is going to be ready for the moment. I believe she's going to control the offense, and I really hope that she pops for Atlanta. And the Dream, they're going to need a spark at that guard position. Ari McDonald, Avery Williams, get well soon. Wishing you the best right here from A1 Forever Sports. And now we're going to move forward. All right, A1 family, got an exclusive interview. Finished the show off with my guy, Sports Illustrated beat writer for the Hawks, and also Fan Nation. He's talking about these sneakers, having your shoe game on proper. My guy, Pat Benson Jr. Let's go ahead and bring him in, shall we? All right, y'all. My guy, Pat Benson Jr., back on the show. Let's go ahead and not waste any time, man. Let's talk about some Atlanta Hawks. First and foremost, I want to highlight Miss Brittany Donaldson. Hey, first female coach in Atlanta Hawks history, former standout at Northern Iowa. You know, as her own basketball player herself. You know, former assistant coach for a championship contender. And I mean, and she also co-founded basketball camps, you know, in her area as well too. So she's been a lot, and she's only 33. And I just want to get your thoughts about what do you feel like she's going to bring to Quinn Snyder's coaching staff and just the Hawks in general.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. And it's an exciting time. And it was just a home run hire. I was totally impressed. I didn't know much about her before this, but I'm very impressed with her resume.
Right.
And it's just this new front office with Landry Fields, Kyle Korver, new head coach Quinn Snyder. It just seems like to me they've been batting 1,000 since they've taken over. They're entering their first full off season. First big move will come with the NBA draft later this month, but I just thought it was an excellent hire. I'm really impressed with the coaching staff they're putting together.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too, man. It's some new blood, man. It's some new blood. And sometimes you may need that. I know she may not have as much experience as some coaches. And I mean, when you look at Nate McMillan's staff compared to what's being constructed now, just from like looking at it, that's what I can tell. I'm like, he's getting like some new blood, getting some different opinions. And I know as far as Miss Donaldson, she's definitely going to help on the analytics side, something that Quinn wants to improve on as well. So I see what Quinn's doing. And like you said, I mean, as far as batting 1,000, I know how things started off, but I mean, it is some improvement here and there. You got to take the baby steps and take the little wins too.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a great off season.
Yeah. Hopefully, I know you mentioned the draft. I know last season I was personally saying, forget the picks. We don't care about no picks. Get rid of all the picks. But it was a guy named Kevin Durant available. So, but this go around is different. And I didn't want to bring it up, but I'm going to anyway. The luxury tax, something that we wasn't supposed to get in, we're in anyway. So it just kind of frustrating, you know, being a Hawks fan and also just, you know, being in the sports world, period. It's just funny that you're in something you didn't want to get in anyway. And it just goes back to that, you know, that Kevin Herter thing and all the stuff like that. But we're in the luxury tax anyway, as is. And it seems like it's really no escaping that. So coming forward with this draft, do you see the Hawks really making this selection and just pretty much having somebody at the end of the bench? Or, I mean, do you see them trading? What do you feel like?
Yeah, so I really think that this move, whatever they decide to do with the draft pick, will give us an idea of what they plan to do this offseason. And like you said, I don't think there's any way of avoiding the luxury tax at this point. They're already over 8 million deep into it, and they haven't even begun to try to improve the roster. So to me, like you said, it's an affordable contract. You know, I think AJ Griffin was an absolute steal in the middle of the first round last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can replicate that sort of success with a rookie again this year. So hopefully you find a nice project and you just try to develop that player and just reap the benefits of an affordable contract at the end of the bench.
Right. because my next question for you is: the Jaylen Brown dream finally dead?
It's not looking good. Right now it's on life support. It was pretty great there for a while when he was wearing Atlanta Braves hats and that sort of thing. But if he makes an all NBA team and he gets that big payday, then it's officially over. And I think he will make an all NBA team. But yeah, and even then, it would still be tough, even if he didn't make it. And for some reason he
Well,
wanted to
he
come to
did make
Atlanta, it would
the
still
NBA
be
team.
very expensive.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He did make the NBA team. So the All NBA, I believe, the third team I think he made. So
Mhm.
the only team that can offer him the super max is Boston. But I
But
mean,
yeah,
he can still.
mhm.
I mean, he can still get good money other places. But I mean, are you really going to walk away from a super max? That's another thing too.
Yeah, it's
But
done then. It's done. If that's official, it's over. He's definitely sticking in Boston, at least for a couple of years.
yeah, I mean, I can see. I just don't see him walking away unless it had to be. I don't know. They would have to get bounced out maybe the first round, and then him not even making the all team. I think.
Yeah, yeah, and it'd have to have like a falling out between him and Jason Tatum and Coach Mazzulla, that sort of thing, and that would take at
Exactly.
least a couple of years. I couldn't see them imploding that fast, but who knows? I mean, it's the NBA. Crazier things have happened. I'm not going to delete the photoshopped image I have of Jaylen Brown in the Hawks jersey just yet.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, all right. Let me run this by you.
All right.
Now you know how long it took Jalen and Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum to mesh.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I mean, Hawks fans, hold on now, give me a second. But I feel like we're really giving up on Trae and DeJounte too soon.
Maybe, I think that's an argument we haven't heard very often is patience with those two. I think of course, the 2021 Eastern Conference Finals run that spoiled us. That accelerated the timeline probably faster than it should have been. And then
Yeah,
you go out and you get DeJounte Murray, and that only heightens expectations. But you're right, they played together one season. It's hard to make two ball dominant guards mesh that quickly in one season with a coaching change, with a front office overhaul. So yeah, I mean it's definitely too early, and both players have ways to improve to make to bring out the best in the other player.
agreed. Well, basically, what I was saying as far as preaching patience, man, and preaching patience to the Atlanta Hawks fans, because for multiple reasons, just because patience can be a virtue. Two, also we're already in the luxury tax. What more can we really do? I mean, because if we go get Jaylen Brown, we're going to have to give away players just to get him anyway. So, and I don't see any other trades going around or anybody just really just willing just to give away a star for little to nothing. It's so many factors into the fact that's kind of forcing Atlanta fans to be patient. We have to trust this process between DeJounte and Trae. You can either walk into it willingly or you can be shoved into it. But regardless, we're going to have to be patient because what else can we really do, Pat?
I totally agree. There are a lot worse predicaments to be in. The Hawks have one of the best point guards in the NBA. They have a great, second option, DeJounte. They're already a competitive team, verge of the playoffs. They could, maybe even surprise a team in the first round of the playoffs. So there are a lot worse situations to be in. And it's good to be nimble. It's good to be flexible in the NBA because you never know when the next superstar is going to become available. Whenever somebody's going to get frustrated somewhere else in the league, and you need to have some level of flexibility. And the Hawks are somewhat flexible. And right now is a good time, like you said, to practice patience. Let Trae and Dejounte figure things out.
Yeah, I mean that's the best thing for it, man. That's just the best thing I can just see him doing. I mean, what I mean, I do believe some changes are coming though. I just don't know what kind, but I do believe some changes are coming. Maybe we'll find somebody for John Collins, but I also been hearing about Clint Capella being moved as well. It's really those two players. And the only time I hear about, saying DeJounte is, getting traded, maybe for a Jaylen Brown type thing, which honestly wouldn't move the needle for Atlanta. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's more of a Hail Mary, and that
right,
that's just
right.
super unlikely. But I don't know. Do you think this could finally be the off season that John Collins gets traded?
I mean, man, it could be, man. If it's one of those things to where you have to really just say, okay, y'all, on this one, we really kind of failed. But
Mhm.
John Collins is not a bad player. He's just
Mhm.
in a bad situation right now because he's not even the fourth option on the team. He's
Yeah.
not. It's just it's different because when it was just him and Trae, it was different. And then you had CC come in. Now you
Mhm.
got DeJounte come in. Then you got different role players, Bogey, all these different, components.
Yeah.
It really has limited John Collins. It really has. Now don't get me wrong. I know we're in the league, no matter what your position is, if you're on the floor and you're asked to do this, you're supposed to be able to produce. So,
Yeah.
especially for 125. So, with that being said, I understand the gripe. I have gripes as well, I'm saying, with John Collins, but I just want to also say that he's not even the third or fourth option on the team. So it's hard for him to really get his touches. But when he does, he is somewhat effective. So therefore, I feel like the front office will have to get to the point to where you want to set John Collins free, yeah, and just
Mhm.
let him go be successful somewhere else. Because something that me and you discussed once
Yeah.
upon a time before, I believe if he leaves the Hawks, he will be successful.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's been constantly adapting to a changing roster, a changing coaching staff every couple of years. And yeah, I think he's done the best of a really rough situation. Obviously, he's handled all the trade rumors and trade drama really well.
Right.
And, that's to be expected. He's kind of a blue collar, Army brat, former Army brat type of guy. So, of course, he's going to handle all that well. But yeah, I think there are probably better situations for him around the league. But I'm glad the Hawks still have him.
Definitely.
I just there haven't been any trade packages that have been rumored over the past year plus that sound any good at all from a Hawks perspective for John
Right.
Collins. So yeah, I think it's better to hold on to him and try to get some level of continuity going within the organization.
Right. Because anything else, unless you getting something, unless it's a team that's just really willing to dance with you, which you
Yeah,
haven't found in what, 3 seasons.
yeah,
So it's just like you haven't found anyone a dance partner yet. I hope it doesn't end up turning out to be just pretty much like a salary dump type of a trade,
yeah.
because I'd rather just keep them if that's the case, but
Yeah.
you
I
know,
totally agree with you. I totally agree with you because I think his contract is going to get better with age. Like, of course, when he was on the early end of it, it's going to be kind of daunting. But with each passing year, I mean, that contract becomes, more easier to digest. So
right,
I think keeping Collins is a good move for now.
right, right. All right, man. Let's talk some shoes,
All
man.
right.
How you feel about Trae's new shoes, man? The Trae
I
Young
like them.
3.
They're definitely an improvement from the Adidas Trae Young 2.0 or Adidas Trae Young 2. I'm not sure what they call them. Adidas has funky names, but
Right.
basically, it's definitely aesthetically, it's an upgrade. We don't know what any of the tech specs are, but it was cool to see the way he unveiled it too.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
on
that
his
was
son's
cool.
first birthday. It's his third shoe. It was with the three generation of young men, his dad, Rayford, his son, Titus. So I thought it was a really cool way to introduce the shoe to the world. And I think they look pretty cool. What do you think?
It was this the whole process, just like what you just broke down. That was well thought out, and it was great because, like I said, it's the three
Mhm.
generations.
Yeah,
Absolutely perfect. I liked it, and
yeah,
everything. As far as like the shoes go, I definitely say they're an improvement as far as
mhm.
look.
Yeah,
From the Trae Young twos, I know the twos was kind of like more for performance.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I believe that's what you had told me before.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So the Trae Youngs were for performance and everything twos. So these threes, I'm interested. I always gotta like see on feet and
Yeah.
feel and all that stuff like that to see if they're trying to mix a balance of the one and the two maybe together
Mhm.
and have a look that's also they can perform as well. And Trae, he always have the different colorways and everything like that too. So I'm interested to see, what different colorways he have coming in. I actually have some Trae Young twos on the way that I
Nice.
yeah, I actually have some of those on the way. So I actually wanted to see as far as performance wise how they how they act. See, we'll see how they do.
What colorway did you get?
Actually, man, it's like a blue and white, black. It's with a little
Yeah.
lightning strike or something
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah. I
going
know which
on.
one you were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was between those and the ones that look like lemon lime. The whole
Yeah.
shoe's yellow. And then I also was thinking about those like it was kind of like a mint green, but like
Yeah.
icy bottom looking. Man,
Mhm.
I was like, man, but it was a tough decision. But I guess I went with graphics over
Yeah.
everything else. So
That's good. Let me know. Let me know how they turn out. And
definitely.
we've talked about shoes, which is kind of my forte. Now we got to talk about podcasting, which is yours. Have you had a chance to listen to Trey's new podcast?
Man, to be honest with you, I have it saved, man. I gotta go
Yeah.
and listen to it and in its full. I hate peeping popping in and out of stuff like that. But I've been actually, like I said, getting back into the swing of my own
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
and been really focusing on my own show. But I do
Yeah.
have it saved because I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah.
But I was listening to a few things. I know some things that he possibly said about Nate McMillan too, about them being like friends or something like that.
Well, one, yeah, like I'm like you. I don't like clips don't do it justice. You need to see the whole thing just to make sure you catch context because you can see any clip of anything online and it
Right.
can be, shaped to form any opinion. But
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
he's
You're
going
right
to run
about that.
into an issue of, man, he can't be alienating, different coaches, players, and different relationships around the league. So I think it's going to be tough for him to run this podcast and not make some folks mad along the way. So it's going to be interesting to see how he strikes that balance.
I mean, I feel like, I feel like Trae can keep it professional. I
Yeah.
feel like he can definitely do that because this is, I mean, a new venture for him.
Mhm.
Jumping into this podcast, I mean, I'm all for opportunity for anybody. I mean, then I feel like with this podcast, he can give like maybe his perspective on what he means by different things or, interpretations of different things too, man. So I'm definitely going to check it out. But shoot, man, tell me more about Fan Nation before we get up out of here.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm not officially on the Hawk speed anymore, just focusing on the sneakers right now and really enjoying that. And over the past season, it became really tough juggling the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And, my background, I've written about basketball and sneakers, but more about sneakers. And this has been something I've really been enjoying. And, I just want to do what I enjoy more and
All
super,
right.
thankful for my time on the Hawks beat. So not going to be quite as involved as I was, but still going to be around doing some different things like that. So, yeah, man, people know where to find me on social media.
Right, exactly, man, exactly. Man, well, first and foremost, man, congratulations to you, doing
Thank
something
you.
that you enjoy. That's what it's all about. That's
Mhm.
what it's all about, man. So, I'm glad that you're doing that. Glad you're having fun. I'll be seeing you, man. You get shoe collection. You don't want to take the shoe guide title, but all right, whatever. Man,
No,
you got at
no.
least about 25 new pairs of shoes.
Yeah,
In the last week.
no, they come in pretty steady during the NBA season, but I think it's going to slow down for the summer, which is fine. I can't complain. I've been really fortunate. So yeah, man. Shout out to all the sneaker companies out there for y'all know where to find me too.
Exactly, man. Well, appreciate you for doing this, man. Coming on to the show as always, man. Definitely gonna touch bases with you. You already know. Let everybody know exactly just one more time, just in case they don't happen to know who Pat Benson is by now. Just let them know where they can find you.
For sure. You can follow me on social media at Pat_Benson_Junior. And Chris, thank you so much for having me. As always, man, I enjoy it. And we'll be talking more this summer, I hope.
Oh yeah, yes sir, for sure, man. It's gonna be an interesting summer, man. So definitely gonna get with you in a minute. Thank you for doing the interview again, and I will definitely touch bases with you in a sec.
Sounds good, bro.
All righty now. That was Pat Benson Jr. covering Fan Nation, covering the sneakers, keeping the shoe game on proper. Now, I want to tell you guys, thank you for watching the show. If you're new to the show, please subscribe to the channel. You get all this access to this content that I'm dropping. And also being a part of the A1 family, and that's first and foremost. And secondly, If you are subscribed and you've been here for a while, salute. I'm about to go to the store. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know what you want. You know what I'm saying? You know I got you. Till next time, be generational because it's always time to be. While settle for less when you can always have more with the vision. The show that's cooler and flyer too. A1 Forever Sports. Chris Tip Moore. Until next time, y'all, I'll be back in 2.2. So just give me a minute and I'll holler.
A1. 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 Yeah. Truly. Cooler and I'm flyer too. Jam.